Hello and welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business, brought to you by MegaPixx Media. Joining me today is Chris Fair, who is President and CEO of Resonance. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, you put out an interesting report here the other day on the world's best cities. Let me just start by asking you, what cities top that list?
London is top of our rankings again for 6th year in a row. Do see some movement in the rest of the top 10. Paris moved into number 2, pushing New York down to number 3. And then you have cities like Moscow, Dubai, Tokyo, Barcelona, Madrid that round out the top, and Singapore that round out the top 10.
Okay, tell me a little bit about how the ranking is determined. What goes into making the point system or whatever for these cities.
Sure. Well, our firm Resonance specializes in tourism, real estate, and economic development, working with cities around and communities around the world. And so we spend a lot of time researching and trying to understand what are the factors that attract people to choose a city to live or a business to invest in a particular city. So based on that research, we've identified 24 factors that have a high relationship with attracting tourism, talent, or investment. And some of those are quite obvious, things like having a good, business environment in terms of growth, unemployment, et cetera. But others are less obvious. It's things like restaurants, nightlife, outdoor spaces. So we look at other non-traditional data sources like TripAdvisor or Yelp to be able to find out how many very good or excellent restaurants or experiences in the outdoors are there from one city to the next.
Oh, okay then. What can you tell me about London? Topping that ranking for so many years. Why is that?
Yeah, some of it is, by the scale of the cities. When you think about a city with, more than 20 million people in a metropolitan area, just the sheer scale and size of cities like London or New York or Moscow, they tend to have, more economic output. They have more restaurants, they have more parks. So They just simply have more of everything, just based on the scale and size.
Okay, what can you tell me about Canada and where the cities, some of the major cities in Canada ranked on that world scale?
Yeah, Canada, we see, Toronto is in the top 20, dropped down to about 18th this year. Some of that a function of having one of the longest lockdowns of any city in the world, so less restaurants open. A lot of these things that we're measuring and collecting simply didn't exist in some cities. And then you have, Vancouver is in the 40, followed closely, by Calgary. And then you have Ottawa and Edmonton that are also in the top 100 as well.
Oh, okay, then. Why is this kind of information important, especially now, to have?
Yeah, well, as the economy becomes lighter and more mobile, people can choose to set up a company or choose to live in Calgary or Copenhagen. So there's more competition now than ever before for cities to attract talent and to attract investment. And that's really what we're trying to monitor, is provide a guide for cities at a high level in terms of how are they performing against all of these factors that really determine where talent, tourism, and investment is going in the world.
Yeah, exactly. How many years have you done this survey?
We've done it now. This is our seventh year producing the rankings, and the methodology has evolved slightly over time. But it's proud to say it's now one of the most widely read city rankings in the world. So if you ask Alexa or Siri what the best city in the world is, they will tell you London because of our rankings.
All right, super. Well, thanks very much, Chris, for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, super. That was Chris Fair, who is President and CEO of Resonance. This has been Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business, brought to you by MegaPixx Media. Thanks for joining us.